All right, thanks for joining us. We are heading down the mountain on a super twisty, super tight road right off the Blue Ridge Parkway, which is where we're starting, Vesuvius, Virginia. We've been on this road before. This is actually part 2 because I just did the uphill version and I had to disconnect once. Like, it locks me in at 60 miles an hour. It's not going to work. Like, here it says 20, see? This is a road that's not allowed to be driven on by tractor trailers. That's how bad it is. All right, I'm going to lock us in at 20 because that's what we did on the way up, and I had to disconnect once at 20 miles an hour. I've experienced on regular roads that are not like this, that are restricted from tractor trailers. Regular roads seem to go, this FSD beta version seems to go in a little too slow at times, where I would have thought it could have really gone in faster. But on a road like this, as you'll see, I think on the way down, at least it was on the way up, it takes some of these corners, especially where they get super tight, too fast. And that's why I had to grab the wheel and stop the system on one of the corners on the way up. I had to disengage it. So right now it's not that bad. This is just the warm-up. And you can't see, actually, let's try to zoom in more on the mountain so you can see what we have in store. It's very, very twisty. All right, here we go. Now we're gonna start. Going downhill is a totally different feel. We're on the side too that doesn't have the cliffs. Oh, whoa. See how that corner, we're okay, but you gotta be so careful because you don't know what somebody else is doing in those directions. See how the road just drops right off. If I were to go over that cliff, and that's why I had to take the wheel, we would be down and gone, maybe even dead, I don't know. Although I've seen Teslas go over cliffs and people survive, I wouldn't want to put that to the test. Whoa. Okay, it's hard to keep the system engaged because it keeps wanting me to touch the wheel and it's constantly turning. Look at this rock on the right, this giant rock face. It's right next to the road. There's a branch, it's not really moving for that. This was a tight corner on the way up. It's not going to be as tight because we're on the outside of it now. Heading in this direction, but you can get the idea here. Look at that, handled it pretty well. Okay, let me know your thoughts in the comments about how you think it's doing. But I have a feeling, I kind of was thinking earlier, that this is the easier way. Downhill is the easier way. There's a rock in the road. There's a squirrel. It didn't even move for that rock. Okay, it's taking its time, but again, as the outside, just because all the steepness is down here on the driver's side now, and it's on the passenger side on the way up, I do think that this is, it might even be able to handle a few more miles an hour. So yeah, I'm definitely noticing that a lot of this is depending upon which way you're driving up the mountain. There's another rock right there in the road. It doesn't even know that it's there. Something like that was a pretty decent sized rock, but it wouldn't kill the car if I ran over it. But if there's bigger rocks, I don't even know if it would notice those. Wasn't signaling. This is a super tight corner here. Yeah, I remember this one. Super tight. But it's fine. It's wider there because we're heading in the other direction. Going up the mountain, it was much sharper turn in. So this doesn't seem as dramatic as it did on the way up. I mean, the one thing is you're seeing these giant rock walls that we're going within inches of that could just scrape the car like you're going through a car wash of rocks. But it hasn't really gone off the road or even seemed like it's going to, heading in this direction. Yes, I would say even on these road signs, I would say going up the mountain, you need to go slower. Maybe up the mountains, more like 15, and down the mountains, 25. Because we're going 20 now, and it seems just fine. So watch the other video if you want to see how difficult this road really is. See, this doesn't look too bad, but you get this rock right there, right at the road. I'm sure I could see the little scrapes. I'm sure people have hit it, bounced right off of it. I think the time, the elapsed time on this is going to be a lot shorter than the first video too. Because the system did slow it down a lot for this corners, where it's not doing that here. Yeah, 20 miles an hour is just fine on the way down. All right, this is a tight corner right here. If it's got an arrow, well, I almost felt like there was some wheel lock there because of the wet road. Like the ABS was working. All right, I think that might be it for most of the, yeah. Well, we got one more turn here to the right, and then it kind of straightens out from there. So I think that, yeah, way better here. Going uphill, that's going to be the benchmark going forward, going uphill. The only thing that's really an issue here is possibly scraping the rocks, but that's not a problem here for the AutoPilot. It's very accurate. It's not going to scrape the rocks. It would be something really weird, I think, if that happened. But possibly driving off the cliff on the way up is the bigger concern. And quite a few of those turns. So let me know what you think in the comments. Be sure to like the video. It'll help us out. Oh, this is gonna, look at this. Whoa. Still not that bad. It's not that bad on the way down. Not like it is on the way up. If people go off the road there, they scrape the rocks. But still, not as bad as the way up the mountain. All right, that's it. We're heading to the supercharger. So thanks so much for watching. Yeah, definitely give us a thumbs up and subscribe if you don't already. And I look forward to reading your comments. And please check out that other video. I will link it right below in the description so you can watch that. See you in the next video.